Hello again, boys and girls. Now we are at the part Geometry Part C. Now, just as a quick review, the vocabulary that we've gone over already is point, line segment, which you have two endpoints, line where you have a line that goes with two arrows on both ends, array where you have one endpoint and in the other direction there's an arrow or line. Parallel lines are lines that will never meet or cross, going in both directions. Intersect means two lines or two line segments that cross one another. And perpendicular lines are lines that have that look like a lowercase t or a lowercase t or capital L. And that's where we're going to start with part C. Talking about this capital L. And now we're talking about the capital L in any direction, okay? Down or up, okay? Now, this gets us to our final part of the objective, talking about an angle. And in this case here, an angle, boys and girls, is going to introduce one more vocabulary word. And you see this, and I made this red dot here. You see how this dot, it's in the middle. It separates this line here and that line. Okay. That vocabulary word, boys and girls, the point where two rays meet. This point I'm talking about, the point where here's a ray, and this point where both of those rays meet, that vocabulary word is called the vertex. Okay? What is the vertex? It's the point where two lines meet. So I put it in red, so I'm going to put it in red up here. Vertex, the point, the dot, the point where two rays meet. And when we're talking about this capital L, and when we talked about this lowercase t, all of this angle, all of this area here, boys and girls, starting from this line and touch that line there, that is what's called an angle. Everybody say angle. Okay? So, touching one line and going all the way to the other line, that's an angle. But notice that we keep talking about this capital L. So, if this is an angle, by definition, the vertex touches separates two rays rather. The angle, we're going to use this as our benchmark angle. This benchmark angle, when it's perpendicular, and it looks like a capital L. Anybody know what that angle is called? Very good. This is what's called a right angle. Okay? Looks like a capital L. And when you may see this also, it may look like this here, and the other 9 times out of 10, you will see a little box. If you see that box, you know that this angle is a right angle, okay? So now, angles can be determined as greater than, less than, or the same as a right angle. Now I want you to think about that for a minute. Angles can be determined as greater than, less than, or equal to a right angle. So if that's the case, what would those angles be called? Think about that. So we have a right angle. So I'm going to make another right angle beside it. Notice the symbol or the box. That lets you know that it is a right angle. All of this area is considered a right angle. But what if we have something like this here? We have the vertex touching this bottom ray, and this vertex now is touching this ray. What do you notice? That's right. You notice now this area is much smaller than that area. Would you agree with that? So we said that now angles can be determined as greater than, less than, or equal to the right angle. So what would this angle be called if it's less than the entire right angle? What do you think? Say it again. Very good. This angle, starting from this bottom ray and touching that top ray, you see that? That's much smaller than the right angle. So since it is less than, anything less than all of this area would be called an acute angle. Everybody say acute. Acute angle. So notice the symbol in the box for a right angle goes from this ray all the way down to the ray at the bottom. But an acute angle is anything less than any of this area here. Okay? This could be an acute angle. That can be an acute angle. That can be an acute angle. Because none of those angles is large enough to equal this right angle. So we have an acute angle. Once again, your right angle. So the 2 vocabulary words so far is right angle, acute angle. All right. Now, and boys and girls, I'm erasing this, but you all always can go back to pause to look back at what we said, what a right angle is and what an acute angle is. So once again, I'm going to put up our benchmark angle, which is the right angle, right? I'll even put lines down here. Put my box. This is a right angle. But look down here also. we had a right angle upside down, right? So, what would happen if we create this angle? Of course, we starting here, same line, but now so we started the bottom line, we go all the way up and touch the right angle, but look what's going to happen. I'm going to go past that benchmark or that right angle. So look what we're talking about. Now we went all the way to the right angle and we moved it a little further. What do you notice? Say that again? That's right. This angle is greater than the right angle. It's not less than, it's not the same, it's greater than. That introduces us, boys and girls, to our final angle. When you have an angle that is greater than your right angle, it has a special name also. It is called an obtuse angle. That means an obtuse angle is greater than the right angle and is also greater than the acute angle. Okay? So remember when we said the Pac-Man or Pac-Woman eats the larger number of objects? Just think about it in these terms. Acute, right? Obtuse, and the Pac-Man or woman eats the larger angle. Look at that. So that lets you know the acute is the smallest of the three. Then you have the right angle. Then you have obtuse. Okay? And those will be your three and final vocabulary words for today. Now, later on, boys, when you go through this lesson, there's going to be an angle song that's almost like integrating a PE class as if you're doing warm-ups or exercises. But I know you all are tired and you're sitting there, so I'm going to do a little bit of that for you also. Just let you know how that song gonna go a little bit. And so, if we have okay, here's my ray. I'm the vertex, line in this direction. Ooh, ready to break that stuff in my basement. Okay. Straight up, so it should look like an L, right? That is the right angle. Now, if I bring it down, straight down a little bit, watch, when I say start, this one it becomes an acute angle. Start. You see? That's an acute angle. Going all the way back up to the right angle. Now, I have my right angle. This is when it becomes an obtuse angle. You'll be doing this later on in the video. You'll be following along with the young lady. So we had the right angle, When I say start, it's starting going to an obtuse angle. Start. Notice it's going past the right angle. Okay. All right? Now, if we have a line segment, see my fist here, boys and girls? Stops at my fist, stops at my fist in both directions. I'm the vertex. I separate the two line segments. How do you know? Because my fists are the dots or the points. So watch this. I go from a line segment to a ray to a line. Line segment. Line segment. Okay? Ray, endpoint, line. Okay? Right angle looks like a capital L. As I move smaller, I'm becoming an acute angle. Go back up to my benchmark right angle. As I go, I see boys is good. As I'm moving past the right angle, an obtuse angle. But finally, the final angle we never talked about yet, once you go from your right angle, and I look like a lowercase t, that is what's called a straight angle. Okay? Lines in both directions, I'm the vertex. Shoulders starting hurt a little bit. Okay? Straight angle, right angle. Acute angles, obtuse angle. Okay? And so, whether Coach Smith has you doing something out, boys and girls, you can use that as your way to say that you're integrating PE with math, and then especially we'll have the music going with it a little later on in the lesson, and I'll have that uploaded for you. So, in closing, we're talking about identifying and the characteristics of a point, lines, line segments, rays, and angles. A point, we talked about, is just a dot by itself. You can put any alphabet letter there. A line segment has two endpoints that look like my fist, again, when I go by my ping pong table. A line, you go from the two fists till you open your hands up, and then that means that lines going in both directions. Parallel lines, when we talked about Gardner Webb book, lines that never touch, and they will never intersect or cross one another. But we like to say the word intersect dealing with geometry and mathematically speaking. Top and bottom will never touch. Perpendicular lines, they will always have that lowercase t when they cross, or look like a capital L, whether you mirror the L this way or that way. Right angle, it always had a symbol, look like a capital L. Acute angle is any area that's a little bit less than that right angle here that looks like an L. And obtuse angle is when it starts anything a little bit greater than a right angle. Okay? Thank you, boys and girls.